Hello, my name is Chelsea Reinberg, and I'm the Nutrition Food Safety Health Agent here with Johnson County K-State Research and Extension. And as we approach November, I wanted to talk to you about managing your blood sugars to prevent or to ease type 2 diabetes. In Kansas, 11% of adults have diabetes. It is the sixth leading cause of death in Kansas. So it is a very important issue that we're going to talk about today. Traditionally, when we think about eating, we think about our MyPlate. And so this is what the current MyPlate recommendations are. As you can see, we have a quarter of our plate should be fruits, a quarter of our plate's vegetables, about a quarter of our grains, and those should be whole grains. And then a quarter should be a protein, preferably a lean protein source. And what's not pictured on here is we also have the dairy group. So this is the traditional MyPlate, and this is what a 9-inch plate looks like. But when we talk about diabetes and managing our blood sugars a little bit better, we do want to use a modified version of this MyPlate. And so this is what the modified version for eating for type 2 diabetes looks like. So as you can see, the difference here is we have half of our plate consists of vegetables, and these are non-starchy vegetables. So these are not your potatoes, these are not your corn, these are your leafy greens, your broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. All of these would be over here in this vegetable category. You'll also see that we have carbohydrates. So we also have carbs. Even though we are trying to manage our blood sugars, we do need to have carbohydrates. They're a really important function for health and nutrition. However, we want to make sure these carbohydrates are whole grains. Whole grains have extra fibers, and they're going to help keep our blood sugars a little more stable than eating refined carbohydrates. So we want to incorporate some whole grain pasta, some brown rice, whole grain breads. All of those can go into this carbohydrate. The thing that you'll see missing in this plate is our fruits. And fruit are a naturally sweet food. Therefore, they have more sugars than what our vegetables do. So those are actually going to be considered a carbohydrate. And so they're going to go into this group right here. And then we have our proteins. So our proteins, we want to make sure that we're choosing lean proteins, our chicken breast, our lean red meats, our fish. All of those are going to be great to include in our diabetes MyPlate. What we want to make sure that we're focusing on is that we are not adding extra saturated fat to our diet. We're not adding extra sodium, and we're definitely not adding extra sugar. All of those things should be monitored and managed to prevent our blood sugars to maintain a little bit better. So what happens when we do not follow our MyPlate? Our blood sugars are tending to spike. And so that creates a lot of complications within the body. We do want to make sure that our blood sugars are balanced. And so how we do that is we pair our foods together. So for example, I have here some oatmeal. Oatmeal is a great breakfast option. However, eating just a plain bowl of oatmeal with some maybe maple syrup or honey has only carbohydrates and sugars. It does not have any other proteins. It does not have any other fats. And we certainly do not have any vegetables. But if we do have oatmeal, we want to pair it with some protein or fat. So I like to just take a little bit of peanut butter and mix some peanut butter or any type of nut butter in with my oatmeal. You can add some chopped nuts. You can add some sunflower seeds. You can add flax seeds or chia seeds. All of those would be great additions. They add fiber and they also add some proteins and fat. And what happens is those proteins and fat take a little bit longer to digest, and therefore they're going to decrease the rate in which our blood sugars will spike compared to eating only carbohydrates or oatmeal alone. The other example I have here is fruit. So although this doesn't have specifically fruits listed, we do want to make sure that we are eating fruits. Fruits are a great source of antioxidants. They have fiber, they have lots of vitamins and minerals, and they're overall healthy for us. However, because they do have carbohydrates and some more natural sugars, we just want to watch how much we are consuming, and we want to always pair it with a healthy fat or a protein. And so here I have some fresh strawberries, and I have a handful of walnuts to go along with it. The walnuts are your fats and a little bit of protein. You would certainly pair this with some cheese or any other type of deli meat or any other type of protein that you would certainly like to pair it with. So that's another example. If we think about our meals, when we're having our vegetables, We want to pair our carbohydrates with our vegetables and, of course, our lean proteins. Having toast for breakfast in the morning can be a good option. However, we would want to pair it with some avocado or some eggs, and not just peanut butter or, not just jelly on our toast. The last thing I want to talk about is watching our beverages. And so we talked a little bit about eating, making sure that we are having multiple food groups during our meals, balancing our blood sugars through adding some proteins and healthy fats with our carbohydrates. And the other important thing for managing type 2 diabetes and our blood sugars is watching what we drink. We know that a significant portion of our added sugar in our daily diet comes from the beverages that we drink. Not always from the food, but really our beverages. And when we think about our beverages, we really want to make sure that we are choosing those that have no or low added sugar. So for example, I have here a traditional soda, a lemonade, and a sweet tea. All of these have added sugars in them, and they have quite a bit of added sugar. One that I'm going to highlight is our regular soda. So this has 17 teaspoons of added sugar. So this is what 17 teaspoons look like. When we actually measure it out, it looks like quite a bit compared to, we know there's sugar in this, but we don't actually know how much until we measure it out and actually see it. And this is a lot. You probably would not eat 17 teaspoons of sugar by itself, but yet you would be drinking it if you would choose a regular soda. The American Heart Association recommends that in a day, we consume no more than 6 added teaspoons of sugar for women and 9 added teaspoons of sugar for men. So as you can see here, I have 6 and 9. Both of these are way less than this 17. So by consuming just one regular soda, we are already over significantly the amount of added sugar we should have in a day. We know that sugar significantly increases our blood sugars, making it more difficult to manage our diabetes. So as we roll into November, which is National Diabetes Month, I want you to think about your beverages that you're choosing and making sure that we are choosing ones with none or low added sugar. And I want you to think about your plate and to do a good job of filling half your plate with those non-starchy vegetables, a quarter of your plate with carbohydrates, especially those whole grains, and a quarter of your plate with protein. This is going to help you better manage your blood sugars. And if you do have type 2 diabetes, don't forget to get your regular exams, go to your doctor, get your blood sugars measured, have your A1C measured, and to do your annual foot, eye, and teeth checks, and to overall keep a healthy diet. So with that, if you have any questions about type 2 diabetes, a healthy eating pattern, or anything related to food, nutrition, or health, you can definitely contact us at foodhealth@jocogov.org, and we'd be happy to answer your questions. So happy eating all.